Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Death Note. Last time on Death Note, we had Friend. So yeah, let's see. We had more of our talk between Light and Misa, and how, they really can't be seen in public, so they really can't date. And Light was initially saying, I need to be seen in front of other girls, so it's not too suspicious, and Misa did not take that very well, and she said if she sees him with any other girls, she will kill them. Granted, he still has her death note, but whatever. We also learned that there's no possible way for Light to kill Misa without Rem killing him, which is interesting. So yeah, because Rem does care about Misa. So yeah. And then there's other stuff, wasn't there? L has a guy that's keeping an eye on Light, and is now at least now sees another girl with Misa, because Light was already talking to a girl in class, and now he's with Misa. It's all very interesting, and that's probably going to go back to L. And also, we have gotten the whole Light Master Manipulator is now going to have Rem kill L. So she is going to see his name and write it down in order to make Misa happy. Which will... Okay, to make Light happy, which will make Misa happy, which will make Rem happy, basically. So, yeah, that's pretty much that. Yeah, this is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. This is also where I say that, unfortunately, due to copyright reasons, the reaction cannot be hosted in this video. If you want to watch my highlight reaction with all the footage in the corner, and it's nice and edited and all nice and fun, you can go down in the description or to the pinned comment on this video. There will be a link there that'll take you right to my highlight reaction. You can watch it. You can hopefully have a good time. And when you're done with that, you can head right back over here for the discussion. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this episode of Death Note. Here we go. Oh man, oh man. That went from 0 to 100 really, really fast. Like, really, really, really fast. Oh my gosh. So she forfeited the Death Note, and she forgot everything. She lost memory of everything to do with the Death Note, Rem, Kira, L's real name. Everything. But her feelings towards Light will stay there. She will still be in love with Light, which is probably great for her. So anyway, I don't know why Darby's barking out there, but whatever. So she forgets everything. She will still have her feelings towards Light, which, she finds as a plus at least. But damn, man. Oh, God. It is ridiculous, man. So she forfeits all knowledge, which kind of puts... it puts us back to where we were before Misa was even introduced. With the exception of, I guess it does sort of, it puts more of the suspicion, like almost 100%, like I'm pretty sure L is convinced now that Light is Kira. So, oh God. But I will say, of everything that could happen to Misa, that may honestly be fine. Like, I'm okay with that, honestly. Because it's like, something bad had to have happened to Misa. Like, we can't keep her around, I guess, forever. And Light doesn't want to keep her around forever. So, yeah, it's interesting. Like, the fact that it's just, well, we're going to erase her memory of everything that's happened with the Death Note and with Kira and Light, and then, she'll just be released once they realize that she doesn't know anything, and that, now she's not even the second Kira anymore. I do actually prefer that over them just killing her, over Light or Rem just killing her. But that's the thing, is that if they do kill her, that is going to kind of send some messages towards L that that Light is Kira. I mean, there's a lot here that just shows that Light is Kira. Oh, man. Okay. Let's kind of go over the notes. The first thing I wrote down was phone call. Just, again, at the beginning, sort of reinforcing the, Light and Misa can't really be seen together or anything, so he takes precautions about that, too, about phone calls, like, well, I will call you, and I will call you only when it's absolutely necessary and stuff. So, that's interesting, and, him going back and forth on trying to... Basically, he's like kind of always walking on eggshells with her, in a way. It's like he's always trying to figure out how to get her to do what he wants, which is kind of tricky for him. So I do kind of like it there, and I thought it was actually clever that she gave him one of her phones instead. That was actually clever of her to do. So, yeah, and then, with trying to, with trying to figure out, excuse me. And then I like, with... her being like, oh, but, we could do so many things. It's only 7 o'clock. We could go on a romantic walk, go to a nice dinner, something like that. And just, then it's like every time he tries, he has to do a little bit more in order to sway her in these talks. So maybe it's good that she is, kind of going out of the picture, because he was running out of things to do to sway her. This time he had to just full on kiss her in order to basically shut her down. And be like, all right, you need to go home. And she's like, okay, I will. And she's just so infatuated. I mean, oh my gosh, it is insane. It's like, basically, like, I guess next would be just a full makeout session. And then after that, they would just have to bang in order for Light to keep this manipulation up. Which, that might be the most unfortunate thing about this new development with Misa and L, is that we won't get to see Light and Misa bang. And I wanted it to be dramatic, man. I wanted it to be just the freaking shaky zooming camera. Just, I want that. I want to freaking, as dramatic as he writes a name in the Death Note, I want to see the two of them bang. That's what I want. But we're not going to get that. But, oh well. Let's see. So, then we cut back to L saying, by the way, if I die in the next few days, then Light is Kira. 100%. But now we know why he said that, because he was looking at the different hair, and, he's like, okay, this is what we found on the tapes, the evidence that goes with the tapes. This gets us to Misa. Well, we search her room, and it's like, oh, hey, this Misa girl is hanging out with Light. That's what our, eyes on the ground said. It's like, okay, then 100%. He was convinced, like, all right, if Light kills me if I die in the next few days, then Light is Kira. There's just no doubt about that to him now. So, yeah, that is interesting. And now he had to, cause a sneak attack, basically, which was interesting. It was it was a wager. This episode is called Wager, and it was a wager. It was a gamble in order to do that. But it did work out. So yeah, he did the sneak attack by meeting up with Light, and then Misa just comes right out of nowhere. And on the one hand, it's like, oh no, this is bad, but it's like, but then when it's like, oh wait, Light just figures it out. It's like, wait a minute, she has the Shinigami eye. She can see his name. That means that, technically you can count Ryuk as as the only other person that knows L's real name, but Misa is the only other human that knows L's real name. So yeah, that was interesting. And then Light being like, okay, well there we go. I don't even need to use Rem. We just need to. She'll tell me the name, and then we're done. I'll kill him, and we're done. Good, but that just didn't work. And then just that entire crowd that was drawn because of Misa, that was funny. And what seemed to be L, like, totally fanboying over Misa, which was funny. It's like, that was incredibly funny, just him doing that. And then the whole thing with the phones, where it's like, oh man, someone just touched her butt, and it's like, oh shit, was that L? It's like, well, that's weird. That's weird. I wouldn't think L would do that, but I mean, he's a weird guy. It's like, maybe this is just the most human thing about him. But it was all a ruse. It was all a ruse. They rused me. And sure enough, it wasn't that he was just, touching her butt. It was that he stole one of her cell phones, which was brilliant. And, stole one of her cell phones, and then Light tried to call that, and it's like, oh, hi. Yeah, she must have dropped it. Oh, which was clever. And then when he just turned around the second time and was like, oh, I should let you know, we have taken Misa into custody. And it's like, what? It's like, we've taken her into custody on suspicion of being the second Kira. It's like, fucking what? Like, good lord, like, this totally escalated. This went from 0 to 100 in an instant. Like, this episode just went bonkers, and I love it. And then just it cuts, and it's like he, gives all the evidence and stuff like that. And then he tells all the evidence and stuff, and he's like, yeah, and, most likely that you're Kira too. Oh, well. And he just kind of goes along, and it's like, well, we'll figure that out, when we get a confession. And then it just cuts to this fucking Hannibal Lecter contraption they have her tied up in. Like, she's in a straitjacket with a thing over her eyes. Like a belt here, a belt there, a belt up at the crotchular region. It's like, it was horrible. And it's like, oh, good lord. But at the same time, it's like, if you think that she is Kira or is a Kira, yeah, that does make sense that Light or L would do that. God damn it. I swear once a video I get the two of their names mixed up by accident. Oh my gosh. So yeah. So they go for the confession. This poor girl, this poor fucking girl. She just wanted to, get some justice, and she fell in love, and then just all this shit with the way Light treats her, and now getting fucking bound up by the police. Oh my gosh. So they go for the confession, and then 3 days she was tied up like that. 3 days. And she couldn't take it anymore, and she was ready to die. Thank God, though. Thank God for Rem. Like let's say this was the opposite way. Like, let's say this was Ryuk and Light, and for some reason Light gave up on anything and was ready to die. Even though that goes against his character. But what we're talking about is Ryuk. Ryuk, I feel like, wouldn't hesitate to just kill Light and be done with it. Like, well, You did your best. This was fun while it lasted. Light Yagami. Alright. See ya. And you just go. That would be it. But Rem does care about Misa. And, basically, I dropped my pen, sorry. Basically gives her an out to this. Gives her the forfeit. So you can forfeit your Death Note, and it will remove any memories you had of your Death Note, which includes, for her, being the second Kira, knowing Light is Kira, knowing L's real name and stuff, because that comes from the Shinigami eyes. It would remove the Shinigami eyes from her. She wouldn't be able to see Rem or Ryuk, but she would, all of her feelings for Light would still exist, and I think that's what, persuades her. I think that's what persuades her to accept the forfeit, which is interesting. So, yeah, that is definitely interesting. And now I wonder, the feelings towards Light, it's I almost wonder if Rem threw that in there just so she would accept it. Maybe, because that was the turning point where she did actually accept it. So, I don't know, maybe that's something they threw in there? She threw in there just to sort of sway her? I have no idea. That would be interesting, though. And then, she goes to Light to basically say, okay, I've erased all of her memory, everything's okay, but on one condition, you have to get her out of there. And Light did know that. Light suspected that would be the case, and he was like, okay, guess I'm gonna have to do that. I have a plan. And he's like, well, this is goodbye, Ryuk. And even Ryuk is like, what the fuck are you talking about? So yeah, that's kind of the question we have going into the next episode, is what is Light's plan for getting Misa out of there that involves saying goodbye to Ryuk? Does that mean he will forfeit his Death Note? Maybe. That would be interesting if he forfeited his Death Note, though. I mean, this is episode 15. I keep saying the episode count because, there's 37 episodes, but we're only so far into it. With 37 episodes, we're getting closer to the halfway point of the series. So yeah, this is interesting. We're gonna have to see what we do about that, And I have to say, I like, the past few episodes I've kind of felt like, L has been sort of not really pushed to the side, but I mean, kind of. He's been sort of given less lines and less scenes because we've been focusing more on Light and on Misa. So we haven't had a lot of him, honestly, since Assault, since Misa's attack on Sakura TV. So we've been getting kind of less of him. So now I'm glad that this is all, he's come back to the forefront, He's come right back to the forefront of the show, which is great. I was kind of thinking okay, Rem is going to kill L, and it's there's gotta be something. There's gotta be something he can do, because even though he doesn't know what's happening, and he even says as much as I don't know what to think anymore. It's this is such an interesting case. He's trying to figure it out, but it's just a little too confusing. So yeah, it's but I he's brought right back to the forefront, and it's all because of Misa. Because, there was evidence of Misa on the tape, because, suddenly this Misa girl that was on the tape that we suspect as the second Kira is now hanging out with Light, who is a Kira suspect, And all of this all culminates in, basically Misa's arrest. And what do we do now? So yeah. So Misa has forfeited her Death Note. She will no longer remember anything that's happened. So hell, she can go live a good life at least. I'm honestly okay with that. I am completely okay with that. If it means she doesn't die. And then what is Light going to do to free her that involves saying goodbye to Ryuk? That is our question going into the next episode. And yeah, I'm curious. I'm incredibly curious to see what we are going to do in the next episode. What is Light's plan to save Misa? So yeah, that is pretty much it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Death Note reactions, that's the show we're watching, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.